and thank you so much for joining me today as I'll be showing you how to build our 4x2 double stand C&C cage. And for this particular cage, we recommend it's to be used for a maximum of 2 guinea pigs. So if you do have a bit of a larger herd, or you do wish for a larger layout, we do have plenty of other models at our shop. Or you can even add some additional grids to this kit. So with that being said, let's get started. So first and foremost, I'll just go run through the materials. So in this particular Kavee kit, you will receive 50 of our grid panels. And you'll notice with our panels, we have these rectangular shaped meshing. And we generally find that these are a lot safer and a lot more, how do you say, it's just a lot more suitable for smaller guinea pigs or even babies, just because of the smaller gap in the mesh when compared to other grids that you might come across. So you'll need 50 of those. And that brings us to our door grids. So in this kit you'll receive 2 door grids, and you'll be able to identify them by just the side hinges. So you'll need 2 of those, and I just recommend just placing them off to the side for now, as you'll need them at the end of the tutorial. So just keep them off to the side. And that brings me to these bad boys. And they're just our connectors, and you'll need a total of 57. So for these connectors, you'll notice that they have a total of 8 slots. So 4 on the front to snap, and then 4 around the circumference of the connector. We'll get to when to use each orientation just a little later, so just in a bit. And also just a pro tip with your connectors, just be very careful when taking them out of the packaging, as I find because they're so small, it's so easy for them to just roll under like furniture or even get stuck to the packing tape. So I find it's just easier to just place it in just another bag or just some sort of baggie, so it keeps it all in one place. So yeah, just keep them off to the side and just keep a good eye on them. And that brings us to the last and final piece, is our coroplast sheet. And you will receive our 4x2 sheet, and only one is required. So yeah, only one of those, and arguably probably the most important bit. So that's all your materials. And with that being said, let's get started. So we'll start by building the bottom, or the first stand. And we highly recommend, we find it's a lot easier when you build vertically, horizontal, and then vertically again, horizontal, and then vertically. So that pattern will be a lot easier and a lot quicker when assembling this together. And it's just a lot easier when snapping the connectors in. So we will start by just grab one of your panels and snap it into place, just your connectors. There we go. And you should hear a snap. I'm not sure if you heard that, but there is a bit of a snapping sound when you know it's secure in place. So we'll just go ahead and start building this. So what I'm building here is just an H shape. So you're going to want to start building it in that formation. Grab my panels there. Okay. Snap. Oops, just a piece of hay there. You know it's a guinea pig household when you find hay everywhere. And like I said, I just prefer to keep it in a bit of a baggie. So we will continue to build our H shape like so. And don't worry about putting connectors on the top portion of your panels, as we'll do that in just a sec. It's just easier when putting on the next layer just to do in sort of stages. So that's our H done. So we can move that off to the side. And next, we will be using 2 additional panels and making an eye shape. I know, right, guys? It's high. I'm spelling out letters here. So we will just snap that. Here we go. There we are. So your eye is done. You can just put that off to the side for now. And then you will be building another H layout. So just go right ahead, snap your panels. And just remember that, you know, these are quite durable, so you can use a little bit of pressure when putting the connectors and panels together. But I just recommend when you're snapping them together, try pressing from the outermost portion of the grid, just because the meshing, they're thinner wires, so just to prevent yourself damaging it. So just put pressure from the outer edge, as it's very sturdy. So just snap. There we go, guys. Look at that, it's coming along nicely. So there we go. And then one more grid. And then connector. Perfect. So that is your first layer, and as I said, we just start with the vertical portions of the grid. So next we can start filling out our first layer. So what you'll do is just space them out like such. So H, I, and H arrangement. And then you can start putting in your connectors. Now with the connectors in this portion, you're going to only want to start with these 3 points. So just the inner portions. And for these connectors, you're going to want to ensure that the connectors, the flat side, is facing up. So you can start by placing as such. So just these 3 portions, you're going to, there we go, just so the flat side is facing up. And I'll get to why that is in a sec. Okay, so that's all great. And now you have your outer portions of your H structure, and you're going to want to place the connectors so that the flat side is facing away from the cage. So this way you have some snaps facing upwards. So the flat side facing outside of your cage, okay? And you're going to want to do that on both sides of the outermost structure. Okay. And then you should hear some snaps there. Perfect. Great, guys. And next, you can start to fill out your cage. So what I like to do is I like putting the connectors in the middle section first. And then you can start putting your panels in, like so. Start building that horizontal sort of layer. And then, after you filled out this layer, then you put on your connectors. Because I find if you put on the connectors too soon on the outside perimeter, it just gets a little faffy, as in like, it's just a lot more easier and efficient to do it this way. But you could put on connectors if you wish. So just keep filling out your first layer, like so. And I find it doesn't take that long actually to put this whole thing together, or any C&C cage for that matter. I find they're just really simple just to snap. They don't take long. You can just put them together after work or on the date. Yeah, as I say that, I start dropping things. Yeah, I find they're quite quick to do. It's just a bunch of snapping together. Once you've put them all together, your first layer, once you got that first layer out of the way, it's smooth sailing ahead. So again, when you're putting them together and snapping them in place, you want to ensure they're secure. So maybe just go around and just check that all your connectors are there, because it's easy to miss them out, just in case. And now that we've filled out your first shelf layer, you can now start snapping in your connectors. And just as we did on the outer portions in the center, you're going to want to have your connectors where the flat face or the flat surface is facing outside of the cage, so facing away from the inside. Okay, and go ahead and just snap them all in. Put on some good music, your favorite music. Do it with the friends or family. Or yourself, you can certainly do it with either more or less, depending on your preference. There we go. Personally, I absolutely love building it, so you can certainly have a bunch of fun with this. So I'm just going around and just going to the front side of the cage, just snapping again, flat face or flat surface of the connector facing outward. Okay. And there we go. Snap. Snap. There we go. See, you already got a nice shelf going on. You can start putting some of the connectors on top just for easier access. There we go. Perfect. So again, just go around, maybe double check it if you wish, just to make sure you have securely snapped them together. But if that's all well and good, you can start by filling in your next layer. So I'll just move around to the back here. So for this step, so again, as I said in the beginning, we're going to go vertical, horizontal, and vertical. So at this stage, you grab your panels and work around the perimeter. So you can like that, snap. There we go. Look at that. See, once you get your first layer done, really you're gonna fly through it. And then just flip that. Go. Ooh. And once you get the perimeter done, you can then move into the internal structure. So keep in mind for this layer is that you see that I'm only going around the back of the cage and the sides. You don't want to fill in any of the grids in the front section, as you certainly don't want to block or prevent yourself from placing some of your items in. So only on the sides and the back for the panels. So go ahead and continue filling that out. Great. Another. Ooh, that was a loud snap. Okay. So, for the next step, you'll need 4 panels from your kit. So for the next step, we're going to be doing the supports. So, for starters, you'll get 2 panels, and you're going to want to place them in the most central portion of your cage. So right down the center, you're going to place and snap in place your grids. Okay, and notice that I didn't put any connector on the bottom, as you just need to ensure they're snapped in place from the outer ends, nothing in the middle, as it's nice and snug there, okay? So, once you have your main middle support, you can start to do just the additional internal supports. So, one on either side of your main portion. So, just snap that in place as such, and then just on the other side, voila. So that is your main supports finished. Okay, so that's now we get to move on to the next bit. So as stated before, once you do the vertical bits, you can start filling out the rest of your cage by placing your panels on the top bit for your base. So you can start by filling them out by snapping them in so. Great. And once you get both your stands done, it's quite quick to just fill everything else out. Oops. There we are. Snap. There we are. And we'll just come around with the panels. And just snap them into place. Sorry. I don't mean to turn my back on you guys again. So you can start putting your connectors in as well, just to help secure the next layer. So for the middle pieces again, just make sure your flat surface is facing upwards. There we go, snap. Snap. And snap. There we go. And just continue working through. It's coming along. We're almost near the end, guys. Just one more main section to do, and that will be our perimeter for our cage. Or, sorry, our base of the cage. And perfect. So once you put on all your horizontal panels, just for the main base of your cage portion, we will start to put on some more connectors. So you can go ahead and pop those on. Again, flat surface facing outwards. Okay, one last connector. And now that you got your connectors on, this is the really quick and easy part, is you grab your remaining grids and just plop them all around the perimeter since your connectors are already in place. So go ahead and start filling those in. And the best bit is you can start to put your grids on top of the stand itself, so it'll be a lot easier too. And sorry, one more note is when you put your grids on the perimeter, just make sure that you're placing them on the side of the cage, the back, and leave the two front panels open, as we'll come back to our door grids. There we go. See, I told you guys, you're going to be flying through this now. Perfect, look at that guys. And last but not least, your final grids, you'll just place on the outer portion of the front side of your cage. There, and there. Perfect. And then, just with the remaining connectors, place them on top of your newly placed grids, with the flat surface facing upwards. Almost there, guys. Almost at the finish line. Last bit of connectors in the back. Perfect. And then two connectors just on the front. And you'll notice you have one connector left, so the remaining connector will actually be used and function as a lock for the doors. So now you can go ahead and grab your door panels, which I've just placed off to the side. Told you guys I wouldn't forget about these. They are quite literally one of the last steps, so it's always good not to mix them up. Yeah, with your door grids, you can now place them into your cage, and just as you've done with the others, just make sure they snap in place. So go ahead and pop those in. There we go. And then the other side. There we go. I'm so excited to get to the end of where we can decorate. I'm just throwing bits and pieces around. So there's your door grid, fully functioning as such. And what I just recommend is that if you want to lock your doors and keep it more secure, just lightly place your grid into the slot. You don't have to put a lot of pressure, so that way it just makes it easier for yourself to pull it out and in out of the slot. Right, so just lightly in place, and then the last connector, you can use it as a lock as such. Woo! There we go! How does that look, guys? We can finally add our coroplast. Okay, so I'm back with our coroplast, and in this kit you'll receive a 4x2 coroplast sheet in the color of your choice, and all you need to do now is you're just going to unfold it. And the great bit about these coroplast sheets is that Kavee has designed them, so all you need is just to slot them in place. So you've got these two flaps here, and you don't need any glue, no tape required, just slot in place. So you're going to do the panel or the flap from outer to inner. So go out to inside and clip in place, and then same on each side of the coroplast, so outer to inner, and keep going. You're almost there. It's quite satisfying to hear the snap in it. Perfect. There you are. And you're done with your base. The beauty about this, just want to note, is that with our sheets, they're very lightweight, very sturdy, and they're super easy to clean as they're waterproof. So just, you can wipe it down with Guinea Pig safe cleaners. And if you find your guinea pig is nibbling a little bit on the coroplast as they just try to adjust to their new cage, don't panic, as our coroplast here at Kavee is non-toxic. So if you do find them nibbling a little bit, we do have some tips on our blog, which you can check out, or in our other YouTube videos, but don't worry, it's not going to cause them any harm. So you're all set. Go ahead and place that inside. So just ta-da! How does it look? It's great, right? You got your two levels for your storage, so you can place in some storage boxes or any other containers you wish. We recommend placing liners on this level, or even guinea pig food, their favorite snacks, whatever you wish. And all you need to do next is just add your bedding of choice. We recommend our Kavee fleece liners just to go into the coroplast base, but any bedding will do if you prefer an alternative. Decorate and add some guinea pigs. So I hope you enjoyed. For further information on our other models, you check out our other YouTube videos. Or if you want some tips of cleaning, how to clean your cage, or even how to decorate your cage, be sure to check out our Kavee blog or our other YouTube videos.